In my first year, I've met many different people with varying backgrounds and motives for being here. I wanted to examine what made Norwich such an attractive school to so many people and why they chose to call this place home.
The reason why I choose Norwich is because I want to be different. I want to stand out. All my friends and stuff was going to HBCU schools, all party schools, and I want to be different. And I want to take the core of cadets concept and see how far it would take me. And the reason why I choose communication major because I just like to be in front of the TV, camera. I like to use the equipment. I like to make videos, edit videos, like make commercials and stuff like that. And I always want to know what's the start and what's the first step to get into the business and the major.
I chose to come to Norwich because I wanted to go out of state and try something new, and I really enjoyed the senior military aspect that the school kind of gave and all the leadership opportunities. I wanted to study communications because I always had an interest in the aspects of like post-production, TV production, journalism, advertising, so I kind of decided to study what I liked.
To hockey camp here when I was 10 years old, and really the rest was history. I knew I wanted to serve in the military, but I also wanted an education to fall back on. So when I was searching for colleges, Norwich came up on my college radar, and I really just fell in love with it.
I came to Norwich to better myself. I wanted to have the best opportunities, and I knew that Norwich would give me them. I chose my major of accounting and business because I've always wanted to own my own business since I was a little girl, so I think it'll help me get there.
I chose Norwich because of the structure and the lifestyle and the core. And then I chose computer security because I really have an interest in computers and just how they work and the jobs in that field.
I decided to go to Norwich because, well, I'm from Italy, so I'm an international student. And they offered me to come here because I play hockey and the team here is very good. And I decided to become a communication major because I've always been interested in journalism and I also like editing video and just feel like it was something I wanted to do in the future.
Well, I chose Norwich firstly because my dad works here, so it's kind of a no-brainer. It was right in the area, and then communications kind of fit in really nicely because I really want to get into journalism. The TV and radio aspect is also kind of fascinating to me, so it's kind of a really nice mixture to have all three thrown in. That made my decision really easy.
I wanted to find out from my interviewees what are their personal highlights of coming here and areas here on the hill that they believe could use some improvement.
Funny story, my high school football coach, he went to Norwich University, he's an alumni here. He told me about it, and then as the years go by, the coach had reached out to me and recruited me to play football here. I've been playing football since I was a freshman here, and as of that, I went for my visit here and I enjoyed it and I liked it, so just the choice I made was to go here.
I first heard about Norwich when I was back in high school. Someone else applied to come to school but never came.
My first experience with Norwich when I was 10 years old, and I came here and I spent a week here over the summer, and hockey camp was a fun time and challenged me both on the ice and off, and that was my first chance with the campus, and it was during the summer, so they fooled me and I fell in love with it.
I heard about Norwich from my dad because he's an alumni, so I've heard about it my entire life pretty much.
I heard about Norwich through the softball program. Julie Craig, the former softball coach, she reached out to me and told me about Norwich, and then I decided in my senior year that Norwich was the right fit for me.
Okay. When I was looking for colleges and good hockey teams to play for, one of my friends, she used to play here in the hockey team. She was the goalie 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So when she heard I was looking for a college, she suggested me to come visit here, and I like it, so I stayed.
I first heard about Norwich when my dad took the job here. There was an old friend that had the head coaching job here originally, somebody that I've known almost all my life. So that was kind of the first time I heard about Norwich. It's kind of strange hearing it from almost an athletic standpoint rather than a military standpoint or an academic standpoint.
I asked these Norwich students to enlighten me as to what Norwich offers them that no other place can. What was the deciding factor for them when they were making their college decision that led them to Norwich?
My favorite part of going to school here is it's far away from home, so I don't have to be homesick. So it teaches me, how to be, my own self, be guidance and help me with my time management. And the second reason why is being around more people with different skin color, different diversity, different genre. And back home, I'm just around with all, the same color as me, but now it's different.
I would say my favorite parts about going to school here is honestly the environment around here. So like what you see, the trees, the mountains, and all that stuff. I don't really get that back home in Texas. It's very flat land compared to here, so I would say that's probably the best aspect of it.
My favorite part is definitely the people here. You really meet a lot of great people and they interact with them and networking. It's really great. The seasons aren't that great. It's a lot of miserable coldness, but the people that really brighten my day and make me want to come here every day.
I have to say definitely the people. I've met a lot of great people, made a lot of great friends. I like the academics and I also like the athletics here.
I like the structure of the Corps and the skills that I've learned in my rookie year. Also, the time management and really to just work harder than, I think I would at any other university.
Some of the things I like about Norwich, apart from the team and hockey, is definitely the landscape. During fall, it gets beautiful when all the trees and the leaves change color and it gets red and yellow. It's just beautiful.
My favorite part about going to school here is the campus is so small that you almost kind of know everyone. You kind of become friends with a lot of people. It's kind of mixes in really nicely with communications because there's not really many of us, so you know everyone really, really closely. You build really good friendships, really good relationships, and I think between that and the athletics standpoint that I've been invested in, I think those are the really good standpoints for me personally.
School, more people-wise, more communications. I feel as though a lot of things here is like get put on the rug. A lot of things to be changed to the where like everybody get the same equal amount of respect, dignity here. I just feel like if you're like a senior upperclassman, like have a contract, like you think you're everything, but it's really not. Everybody has a life and can do the same thing you do.
There's a lot of things that could probably be improved about the school. To start off with definitely the food. Food isn't the greatest, but it's something you kind of work with. Parking is a bit of a pain to find around here, and just in general, like people's they have like a very mean demeanor sometimes. So it's just something. I think it's the environment around here and very close confined school. It kind of brings it out of people.
So something that can be improved at the university is definitely the room standards, and people just have no care in the world to clean their rooms and have a daily respect for how they live. And cleanliness is a big aspect of everyday life, and holding each other to standard is something that doesn't happen.
Some things that could be improved would definitely be some of the dorms, the academic buildings, and definitely the chow hall.
The housing department could be improved just with the number of students that the university takes in and the actual number of beds that Norwich can supply.
Something that could get improved is definitely the food, especially because I'm Italian, so I really think food is very important for me. So yeah, I would say better food quality. Ciao.
The deciding factor for me was because Dad works here, it's free tuition. So outside of a couple thousand in fees, kind of get to go here almost for free.
People-wise, more communications. I feel as though a lot of things here is like get put on the rug. A lot of things to be changed to the where like everybody get the same equal amount of respect, dignity here. I just feel like if you're like a senior upperclassman, like have a contract, like you think you're everything, but it's really not. Everybody has a life and can do the same thing you do.
Simply put, the deciding factor for my college career and choice to come to Norwich was the people.
Thank you.
I definitely chose Norwich because I needed a place that was gonna make me have to commit to it. I had to commit during rookdom. I had to be dedicated, and I needed that. Whereas in another college, I might have just moved back home, but here I had to really commit.
One thing I was a little nervous about was the distance from Florida to Vermont. However, just the small school feel and the numbers that Norwich does provide makes it feel like a family atmosphere. So.
I would say hockey played a big part in my decision to come here. The team here is one of the best one in the Division 3. We, in fact, just won the national championship. So, yeah, it was a good decision to make.
I think a Norwich degree, and this is something that I hear alumni say a lot whenever I run into them, there's a lot of pride in this campus. There's a lot of pride in the college and what it means to you, whether it's from a core or civilian side. And I think just having the degree that says Norwich University first would be a huge honor. And I think going through programs like the Commuincations program that have such well-esteemed people, I think would help me a lot moving on.
A Norwich degree carries a lot of weight and instills a lot of honor and pride in many of the alumni that hold that valuable piece of paper. Understanding this, I wanted to know what a Norwich degree will mean to the students here today, once they have graduated and are on their way out to join the workforce.
Especially for me, knowing that I went to a Vermont military college will help me a lot. This is one of the prestigious schools in the United States as now. The Norwich alumni evaluation spread all over the world, so with that would give me a booster. And plus I went through rookdom like a whole 18 weeks, so if people know that I was in the core, they know how much the struggle was being a freshman and being recognized and joining the workforce after you graduate.
Norwich degree, if it's given in the right place, can mean a lot to a lot of people. It shows that you have a lot of leadership potential, that you know how to follow orders, that you've been through the tough times and you've gone through like military training. So hopefully when employers see that and they do some research into the schools they look at, it kind of shows that you're a hard worker and that you're willing to give it all.
Well, I decided I couldn't get enough, and I decided to go to grad school at Norwich. So I'll start grad school approximately 20 days after graduation, and I'll go through the College of Graduate and Continuing Studies and get a second Norwich degree. So those two Norwich degrees will teach me to really have patience with people.
A Norwich degree will definitely mean a lot more than any other college. If I meet anyone else with a Norwich degree, we'll know that we've all gone through a lot of hardships. We've gone through great successes, everything like that. So it means a lot more.
I think just the hard work that it took to get that degree, and with the Corps of Cadets stamp on that, it'll really set us apart with the small number of people that do graduate from senior military colleges in the U.S., as well as the connections that Norwich gives you.
I believe having a degree here in Norwich helped me become a more mature person, and also taught me a lot about leadership, and those are definitely skills that are going to be helpful in the future and in a work environment as well.
I'm trying to think how to take this. I think one thing that could be improved is firstly get a parking garage, because parking situation is a nightmare. Secondly, I think food service could be a lot better, and I think a lot of people would agree with that.